All right, folks, welcome to 𝗬𝗏𝗀𝗃𝗏𝗀𝗃. I got a great guest today, 𝗦𝗦𝗃𝗶𝗹, the Galactic Federation. Now, a lot of you are I have a big Christian audience, so a lot of you might be like, what's he doing here? But I like to hear all viewpoints. I like to have an open mind and bring on all different kinds of guests. And so I would love for you all to welcome with open arms Ishmael when I bring him on. So this is going to be very interesting to see how these civil unrest and riots are playing out in this timeline right now, and they're spreading. So just like Juanito has gamed out many years ago on my show, they're spreading like wildfire. Atlanta, Austin, San Francisco, Portland, Dallas, the list goes on and on. New York. So it's going to be spreading, and this could lead to even a bigger event. At least that's what's in the game plan. My teeth are blue from the methylene blue I drank this morning. I drink it just every so often. I don't do it every day. I know a lot of you are like, stop, it's going to give you blue brain. I know. I just do it every now and then. Folks, notifications button. Hit the notifications button. Spread this podcast far and wide. Hit the like button. Venmo 𝗬𝗏𝗀𝗃𝗏𝗀1977 𝗬𝗏𝗀𝗃𝗏𝗀1977. When the lights go out on Amazon. It's right there. Please leave an honest review. That's really all I ask. Also, my mama's book, The Mexican Mix. We have a little bit of a Mexican mix right now, don't we, folks? A lot of Mexican stuff going on right now. Waving the Mexican flag. Crazy times we're living in. How do you all like living in the apocalypse? Whew. And these are going to escalate. They're going to keep taking on. It's going to perpetuate. You will see military in most of your cities in the democratic hellholes. That's how this is going to get settled. That's how this is going to get taken care of. But I imagine this could last months, if not a couple years, to be honest with you. I don't see this settling down anytime soon. Now, LA would be in total flames right now if Trump didn't bring in the military. Bottom line, I'm positive on that. They'd be in complete peril right now. Folks, Noble Gold, get your Noble Gold. Now is the time to get gold, by the way. I know it's spiking, but you got to get on it. It's going to go through the roof. Here's the hard truth. Every 6 years, your dollar loses half its buying power. That 100,000 in savings today could feel like 50,000 by the year 2031. But there's a way to protect and preserve your money, and that is gold, folks. Noble Gold Investments makes it easy to own gold or silver. No pressure, no call centers, just honest one-on-one support. Open a qualified account today and get a 10-ounce silver American flag bar. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com, noblegoldinvestments.com today and get started on that. We need gold, silver. I also have my Patriot supply for buckets of food. Buckets of food. Can you believe we're there now? Buckets of food. So my Patriot supply is down there below as well. Also, Ringside with Nino is today. That's at 5 p.m. on ninoscorner.tv. You just go to ninoscorner.tv and sign up and join the if you're already in the general's tent and you're already in the major's tent, you automatically qualify for Ringside with Nino. But if you want to upgrade, you can upgrade. It's $11.99 a month or $137 for the year. It's awesome. We're gonna all war game together. The whole Black Sheep family today. A community of us is probably going to be about 30, 40 people on there, I would imagine. And everyone can raise their hand, ask questions, get involved. Tell me what you're doing in your community, how you're preparing. We all talk together. We spread our information. And we strategize and we form a network for what's coming. So it's important to have like minds involved for what's coming. The earth is changing. The world's changing, especially America. And I hate to say it, but it looks like we have got to get used to some military on the street for a while. Now, I've always said, come do your job and get out. Come do your job and get out. And I believe that's what Trump's going to do. I don't believe that we're going to turn into a police state and military will just be on the streets and in the cities for forever. I'm hoping this gets cleaned up and they're gone. But to clean out the dangers is going to take some work because it's about to get even worse. It's about to get worse. Folks, Nino'sCorner.tv is Wano Savin, Mike King, The Ghost, Ken McCarthy talking about the Kennedy and Zionist connection or debate. The feud, the trials and tribulations between the Kennedys and the Zionists. And who are the Zionists? He goes into it. Also, 𝗬𝗂𝗧𝗂𝗏 will be the next general in the general's tent, June 26th. It's going to be awesome. 𝗬𝗂𝗧𝗂𝗏. And with that, folks, you might want to turn it down or turn it up, baby. Yeah. Here we go. It's starting. Oh, yeah, it's starting. They've kicked off in all cities. Here we go. Coming at you live from the apocalypse, folks. Oh, yeah. Here we go, folks. All right. More cities erupt. Newsom battles Trump. Marines deployed. Is this civil war? I'm going to tell you what. They sure want it to be. It's going to be a lot of civil unrest, but never civil war. I'm going to tell you that right now. It will never get to civil war, but it will be a lot of civil unrest and pockets of it in different cities. You've heard us talk about this for years on Nino'sCorner.tv that this was coming. Well, the time is now. It's here. They've played their hand. They have to commit to it. We're in it now. They can't pull back. They've showed their hand. They're going all in. This is the time. And I would imagine June, July, August, September, October could be pretty bad. I think some of the cities will be handled fairly easily with the military, but others will pop off. Expect high crime, spikes of crime. Expect the Muslims. Expect 190 different organizations to get involved in this. I'm very surprised we haven't seen any pride flags being flown around out there yet. Oh, boy. All right, so LA police are now saying that they may begin arresting independent media. What? In California, yeah. They're threatening it. Why? Well, gee, I guess they don't want the truth being out there, do they? So they're saying now they're already detaining independent media that's out there on the field right now, walking around, recording what's happening, people throwing bricks, cinder blocks, scooters, bottles. Yeah, they're recording this stuff so the mainstream media doesn't get away with not telling the truth. But now they're actually detaining a lot of the independent media and doxing them. It's crazy. This is unbelievable. Right-wing Republican reporters on the ground are now being doxed online, directing people to attack them, and they're being told to attack them. Pallets of bricks being discovered that protesters were using to launch at ICE. It's being recorded, cinder blocks next to Home Depot, things like that. They're like, well, it's Home Depot. We got this stuff. But they're going over that. Why don't you put it inside then? Put it inside. People are taking them and launching them at the ICE agents and military. They're waving foreign flags, throwing bricks, bottles, bikes, and fireworks, burning cars and looting stores. But, this is peaceful, folks. This is peaceful. Imagine if we only had the mainstream media to depend on. Imagine if Trump wasn't president. Imagine if this happened on Kamala Harris's watch. But I guess it couldn't have. They were going to plan something else. But I guess it was all going to go one direction, and that's to what? Of an attack larger than 9/11. I think what they're doing right now with Trump is perfect. They're like, you know what? Illegal immigrants rise up. And that's what's happening right now. That's what we're seeing right now. They have shut down major roads and freeways like the 101. Karen Bass, Maxine Waters, Kamala Harris, and Governor Newsom openly call Trump a dictator and defy his orders. Defy his orders. And I've been trolling Newsom on X. I told him, you're going to jail for the rest of your life, dude. You're going to jail for the rest of your life. Like, you're going to have a lot of time to think about what you're doing right now. You're not going to make the 2028 run. Okay, that's not going to happen. I know that's what you're being promised if you defy Trump. Don't worry. Defy Trump. We will make you president in 2028. Folks, to be honest with you, this all has the ingredients in the making for a civil war. But will it happen? I don't believe so. No. Civil unrest? Oh, yeah, it's already happening. But there's something more here. This could also be used as the dressing to something much bigger that could be coming. Folks, before 9/11 occurred, there was many signs and warnings. And I don't know, Alex, I sent you a video or a post of a lady on her knees at the Denver airport. Here she is. Now, if you want to just play this for a second.
You guys seen the woman at the Denver airport who claimed their children were kidnapped, and she's being forced to read this paper that basically says there's big things coming to the U.S. worse than 9/11. I mean, listen to this.
I have been kidnapped, me and my kids. Today you will be a worse day than 9/11 attack. This is an act of war of the United States of America. This piece of shit woman thinks...
Are you gonna pause right there, Alex? So this lady is begging and pleading for people to listen to her, and it's catching fire online. But I think there's something there. She's saying something's coming that's bigger than 9/11. Folks, there were signs. There was a lot of signs and a lot of people talking about what was going to happen before 9/11, and we didn't listen to them. I say this lady here at the Denver airport who's on her knees begging and pleading for people to listen, that there's an attack coming that's bigger than 9/11. I think we should listen to her. Now, I've been told that we are due for another attack. And I would say that probably, and I'm just hypothesizing here, is a theory that this could happen when we're at our ripest with the civil unrest. When the civil unrest is really picking up speed, most cities are falling into civil unrest and high crime. All of a sudden, the lights go off. An EMP? I'm just asking the question here. It's just a question. What do you all think? When would we be most vulnerable? I think it's very serious. I think it could happen. I think we all need to stock up on food, on water. I think you need to get gold and silver. I think you need to, and I'm telling you, folks, that's why I read these commercials, Noble Gold, all that stuff. It's serious. Trump knows what's coming. The civil unrest is just the beginning, folks. This is a globalist plan. This is not organic. This is something they planned for a very long time. And when we're ripe, could we get hit with something more? Something much bigger than 9/11. If you look at Cliff High. Cliff High has spoken about this with his computer software that can predict events by reading internet language using the tensions and release. He says something is illuminating in the future that will make 9/11 look like a walk in the park. Something's coming. I hope not. I'm not a psychic. But something could be coming. And I'm going to talk to 𝗬𝗏𝗶𝗶 about this very soon, about what he's getting, what he sees coming in the future. Daniel Brinkley you've seen Daniel Brinkley on my show many times, has spoken about a solar flare that could hit the world and cause a massive shift in humanity. Folks, I've even had dreams. I've had downloads regarding solar flares. I woke up one morning and it hit me like a cinder block out of nowhere, solar flare. At least that's what they'll blame it on, solar flare. Everything just shuts off. Everything goes off. And when would they do this? I would imagine, I don't know, when civil unrest is at its peak. I'm expecting everything to escalate now. We're in the zone now, folks. The kickoff they've kicked off the ball, folks. Okay, we are now in the game. And I don't believe in coincidences. And both have a game plan. Trump has a game plan. They have a game plan. And that is probably why the Golden Dome is so damn important right now. Could we be heading into civil unrest and world wars at exactly the right time right now? The globalists have got to make their Hunger Games move right now, folks. They got to do it right now. I have a dear personal friend who studies astrology, and I'm just going to bring this up, and I'm sure Ishmael can talk about this some more when I bring him on. And although I am Christian, I don't worship astrology, okay? Okay, stop it. I know, you should just listen to the word of God. I watch everything, folks. That's my job. I like to look at everything because I think you got to know the enemy's playbook. I believe these things can't be ignored because the occult are planet and sun worshipers, folks. Anyway, my friend writes, Pluto, the planet of death, rebirth, and transformation, aka Lord of the Underworld, is currently retrograde, which started May 4th to October 13th. A force breaking down structures. What's been hidden services. Get to the heart of the matter. Remember, Pluto went into Aquarius last November at election time and knocked Kamala out. Old party. The ushering of the Trump new era. Picked up momentum late January on Inauguration Day, and now the vehicle is full speed. Last time Pluto was in Aquarius was 240 years ago, 1776. Is it 240 or 250? I'm not sure. We are seeing the old structures getting ready to be exposed, which they are right now, and be torn down. This will get a lot rougher mid-July to mid-August when Mercury goes retrograde again. Mars in Leo until June 17th. Battle of Egos is happening right now. Remember, God's got this. I don't dismiss this stuff. I think this has a lot to do with a lot of things. I think the occult follow this stuff and they time everything with the planets. But everything's under God's umbrella. Believe me, I believe that. I know what you're all saying right now. Wow, believe in God. I do believe in God. But I like to bring out things like this because it makes the podcast a hell of a lot more interesting too. Yeah. All right. An active duty U.S. service member shocked crowds in Dallas. And I think, Alex, you got the video on that. By joining the anti-ICE protest and openly rejecting President Trump's use of the military. So this girl, this lady, here she is. She basically is speaking out against Trump. And to me, I don't even think she's really, I'm having questions if she's even military. She looks to me like people are saying she's a reservist, but she could be just in military clothing. I'm not sure. She declared she won't be a pawn for Trump's agenda, saying he's wrong to deploy troops against American protesters. They're not American protesters. There's a difference between legal and illegal, folks. What is the fucking disconnection here? What is it? I don't understand the disconnection. It's really simple. He's not against immigrants. It's just there's the word legal. You do it properly and come in legally. And then there's the word illegally. And it doesn't matter if you're Mexican, if you're brown, black, Chinese, yellow, red, orange, purple, green. It doesn't matter. It's just legal. And then there's illegal. What's the disconnection? He's coming for all of us. He's taking our families. No, you shouldn't be here illegally. Really simple stuff. 1 + 1 is 2. 2 + 2 is 4. 2 Chinese aircraft carriers and have been operating in the Western Pacific simultaneously for the first time, challenging the U.S. naval presence and demonstrating China's increasing ability to project power beyond the first island chain. This is unprecedented. This doesn't happen. This development has prompted concern in the United States and its allies, particularly Japan, as China's naval capabilities continue to grow. So now they're testing the waters, so to speak, no pun intended. Chinese aircraft carrier breaches Pacific Island defense line. So they're looking for a fight. They're like, okay, America's at its weakest right now, or it's about to be. They're waiting on the right time to strike. That's what's happening right here. They're testing the waters, so to speak. Oh, let's see what that. We're going to be very sneaky. The Mexico government. Now they're throwing their hat in the ring. Have you seen this? The narco-terrorist controlled Mexican government is now publicly promoting a plan to annex the southwest of the United States. And this is what I've always said, folks. This is bigger than just illegal immigration. This has to do with the Mexicans feel like this is their land. They really do feel this. Remember the Alamo? Do they remember the Alamo? I guess not. President of the Mexican Senate said, we'll build the wall and pay for it, but we'll do it according to the 1830 map of Mexico. Mexicans were settled in these territories before the U.S. The Mexicans living there are in what has always been their homeland. So they're making this issue much, much bigger. Whew. And these riots have expanded to Atlanta. Downtown looks like a complete war zone, from what I'm hearing, as well as Chicago, Dallas, New York City, Denver, San Francisco, and Austin. This is getting real, folks. And as all of this is transpiring, all here, where is that, Alex? Where's that at?
This is in Chicago.
Chicago. So Chicago, there's a lot of people right now. I've heard Atlanta is really bad. Denver's picking up. San Francisco, Austin, Dallas. I have a lot of friends in Dallas. Shutting down freeways and roads. I mean, imagine you have a family emergency, like for me, like my elderly parents, if they're sick or something and I need to get home and I have to deal with this bullshit. It's Mad Max, baby. I'm mowing people down. If I had to get home for a personal emergency, could you imagine your mom's sick, your kids, something going on? People have to work 9 to 5 and they have a family emergency. They have to get home and they can't get home because of this. Because we want to be here too, waving the Mexican flag. I'm irate over this, folks. I'm irate. Al-Qaeda leader, 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗶 calls for Muslims living in America to assassinate President Trump, J.D. Vance, Elon Musk, Marco Rubio, and Pete Hegseth, and then target their families. You're telling me this isn't heating up, folks? It's getting real. And as all this keeps happening, more news. President Trump threatens to arrest California Governor Gavin Newsom, who couldn't be happier with the attention. The media continue to spread that illegal immigration enforcement is the real crime. And part one of our interview with Hungarian Prime Minister. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to read that part, but I will say this. I think they're letting this simmer, letting this boil over to a point that Gavin Newsom will be going to jail along with Karen Bass and everybody, but it's got to get to that desirable point. The public needs to be behind this. They can't go down as martyrs. And I think the public is already behind it. If you go look at Gavin Newsom's X post or X, anytime he posts anything, go look at the comments below it. It's unbelievable. People are fed up with this guy. And I'm one of the trolls on there as well, just to let you know. And my ex is Nino Boxer. So Gavin Newsom says he just filed an emergency motion to block Trump's illegal deployment of Marines and National Guard in Los Angeles. Trump is turning the U.S. military against American citizens. No, he's not. This is where our tax dollars go, to protect American citizens. Otherwise, the city would be on fire, would be in complete flames right now. Lawlessness, anarchy, looting stores. If the military was not there, that's what would be happening right now. And then Newsom goes on to say, the courts must immediately block these illegal actions. The U.S. District Court Judge Stephen Breyer has declined California Governor Gavin Newsom's request for a temporary restraining order blocking the deployment of the National Guard and Marines to Los Angeles during the ongoing riots. Marines arrive in L.A. under Trump orders as protests spread to other cities. I'm positive so the timing of this parade, the Washington, D.C. parade, with the riots taking place right now, is what I believe, so that they could be rerouted, the tanks, the vehicles, the Hummers, whatever, the troops, whatever, so they could be rerouted to American cities. They're already in transit. They're going to Washington, D.C. They'll be rerouted to other cities. And I bet he did this to not alarm. I bet this parade came at the right time to not alarm the American citizens when they see, like, why are they putting tanks on trains and sending them out? Why is all this heavy machinery being taken onto trains and trucks and around our highways? Oh, well, it's because of a Washington, D.C. parade. I think Trump knows exactly what they were planning. He prepared for it, and now they're going to be rerouted to American cities. That's just my opinion. 𝗬𝗏, you want to come on? Ishmael.
Hello. Greetings. How are you guys all doing out there?
Great, man. Thank you for joining me. I wanted to get your opinion on this. And
Sure.
this is getting crazy. The riots are getting nutty. They're spreading to the cities: Atlanta, Austin, Dallas, San Francisco, Chicago. What's going on? What are you getting from all this?
Well, and it's only going to get worse. And I do agree. It's going to be massive civil unrest. And this is actually the deep state's final attempt to block the, you could say, the good system or the economy that's going to uplift humanity from kicking in. Yeah. So this is their last attempt. And this was actually pre-orchestrated, knowingly that, Trump was going to win in this term. So it is definitely a deep state operation, and it is believed that Soros is behind all of this. Antifa, the Muslim Brotherhood, which, by the way, are connected to the deep state. And for those who didn't know, the Muslim Brotherhood was created by counterintelligence. Okay. And so what we're going to be witnessing is a huge civil unrest, not necessarily civil war. Let's be real. Civil war has been going on ever since they stole it. So this is not.
Be careful with that kind of talk on FluffTube. We can go to go ahead.
Yeah, so this is definitely going to get worse. Things are expected to peak around the 14th of this month due to the 250th anniversary of our military, and of course Trump's birthday, and which is supposed to be celebrated in Washington. So they say that organizations that are counterintelligence, the Muslim Brotherhood, is going to ignite a lot of the sleeper cells. Again, a lot of these people are not, it's not a natural grassroots protest. A lot of these people have been groomed, deep state, in order to wreak havoc across the nation. So it is believed that about 1,500 cities on the 14th are going to be hit hard. And yes,
they're having the No Kings protest too, the anti-Trump rallies, right? So those are hitting, I don't know how many cities, but I saw the map of them, and I don't know if yeah, you could pull it up, Alex, if you want to show the map of the cities or the cities across America that are going to be, yeah, there's the target cities right there, Ishmael.
Yeah, exactly. So it's exactly 1,500 cities are going to be hit hard. So I suggest that during that day or even before that day, try not to travel, try to stay at home, because we might have a shutdown due to that. We might have a shutdown. Now, I want to just make it clear that this is a final, chess move or a final battle between the deep state and the alliance. And there will be no cyber attack. If the deep state tries to do a cyber attack, Space Force is ready to counteract it.
Don't worry about the EMP.
And don't worry about the EMP, because Space Force is, getting ready to mitigate any situation that might lead to some sort of blackout.
Right? Well, they're still going to try, correct?
Yeah, of course they're going to try.
Okay.
Yeah, that's part of the agenda. Again, the U.S. corporate Inc. De facto government is really trying to hold on by a string right now. So they're going to try to do everything in their power so that the republic will not be restored. But it's not going to be working like that. The white hat military is in key position to do whatever it means, whatever it takes to bring forth and arrest not only the sleeping cells. They're not really illegals like we know them. A lot of these hundreds of thousands, perhaps even millions of sleeper cells were groomed by, and so they're all, and so what's happening right now, and the reason it began with LA, believe it or not, is because LA, just like Ukraine, was the epicenter of global corruption. Well, when it comes to the States, LA harbors a vast network that connects the Getty all the way to JPL, from the Santa Monica region all the way to Hollywood, Pasadena, Altadena, a vast network of criminal activity. So that's the reason why it started in LA, because LA is the hub when it comes to the nation of the deep state's criminal
Look what's
activity
been happening there. The fires, the fires that hit LA, and now this.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense to me.
Absolutely. So that's why LA was the first one to erupt, and so again, a lot of this is happening because this is part of the draining of the swamp. It starts with the criminal networks. You have to first get rid of all of the sleeper cells and all of the criminals that were flooded in here during the Brandon administration in order to wreak havoc, knowingly that he was going to win legally. Right. And then the second part of this phase, which they call Sessions 2.0, this is what the White Hats have been calling Sessions 2.0, is to also arrest what's left of the deep staters that are in Congress, the Senate, and of course the three-letter agencies, to do a full 360 clean house swap cleansing of the entire deep state.
So you're saying this is Trump's checkmate.
Exactly.
They're pulling
it's supposed to be, it's supposed to be done by July 4th.
Really?
Allowing us to declare our second American Revolution against
hold on, time out. I've heard that these protests, it's going to peak. Something is going to happen before July 4th. I've been told that. But I've also heard that a lot of the remnants of this are going to go on could go on for years.
Well, yes, but no, because of the fact that the White Hats do have a set date to clean up the mess by. And, I know a lot of people are probably going to be saying, okay, well, why do you have to incorporate the Galactics? Guys, this is a multidimensional warfare. So the Galactic Alliance, not the Galactic Federation, by the way, which was infiltrated. I want to make some distinction.
Hey, folks, anybody in here talking trash like they are Harbor, Jose Munoz, bounce these people out. Any negative comments like that, get them out of here. I'll stop the show anytime I see something, people criticizing me or my guest. Get them out of here. And ban them from the channel forever. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so what's happening right now is that the Galactic Alliance put a deadline for the White Hats to actually disclose the information, beginning with the list, the Diddy thing, what happened in September 11, 2001, and then everything else, everything that's been going on, all the corruption, the networks, the dumps, the connection with the evil aliens that the military industrial complex sold us to. So we do have a deadline. And by the way, just to make it clear, there was an infiltration of the Galactic Federation 3 years ago by 𝗬𝗃𝗃, the Anunnaki. I'm sure your guests know who the Anunnaki were. Those were the aliens that supposedly, or let's just say that took over the affairs of the earth, downgraded the already existing race that God created in order to create a slave race. And then, of course, have been in control of the Cain Luciferian bloodlines ever since. So this Anunnaki lord that they called 𝗬𝗃𝗃, who is really a fallen angel, came back in 2022, infiltrated the Galactic Federation, seducing many of the commanders to align with the AI timeline. Because again, at the highest level of this war, we are fighting negative AI. And so there was an infiltration in the Galactic Federation. So we can't trust the Galactic Federation right now. However, the good commanders that defected from the Galactic Federation have reorganized into the Galactic Alliance. So the Galactic Alliance is working now with the White Hats in order to bring about, the liberation of the earth. So I just wanted to point that out, because a lot of people are still in this community, and when it comes to disclosure, they still think that Galactic Federation is good, but no, they have been compromised. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah. And they were actually co-opted by our own military industrial complex.
Okay, so another article here, folks. Trump says he's restoring the names of military bases that honored Confederate soldiers. Wait a minute. Wait. What's going on here? What is going on here? Adding more fuel to the fire, if you ask me, but hey. President Trump announced Tuesday that he will restore several more Army-based names that originally honored Confederate military figures, undoing a renaming process ordered by Congress and completed under President Biden. though the bases will officially recognize other service members, not Confederates, going forward. So these are the bases. Mr. Trump listed out 7 Army bases that will revert to a variation of their original names. And here they are. Fort Gordon in Georgia, originally named after Confederate John Brown Gordon. Fort A.P. Hill in Virginia, originally named after Ambrose Powell Hill. Fort Hood in Texas, originally named after John Bell Hood. Fort Lee in Virginia, originally named after Confederate General Robert E. Lee. Fort Pickett in Virginia. Fort Polk in Louisiana. And Fort Rucker in Alabama, originally named after Edmund Winchester Rucker. So these are all going back to the Confederate names. Pretty crazy times we're living in, folks. All right, folks. And with that being said, get your collagen. As we age, our body's natural collagen production declines, leading to visible signs like thinning hair, brittle nails, joint discomfort, and worst of all, wrinkles. That's right. Collagen, or the lack of it, is one of the leading causes of wrinkles and sagging skin. Unfortunately, most of the collagen typically found in store shelves don't provide the right type of amount of collagen necessary to combat wrinkles. This is why I use multi-collagen, and I'm obsessed with the results I'm seeing on my skin. Multi-collagen provides the 5 types of premium collagen that my skin needs to look more youthful. I've seen smoother skin, more elasticity, fewer fine lines, and a youthful glow. Plus, it easily mixes with my morning coffee or tea, no clumps, and it tastes great. Grab your bag now while it's 51% off only at Health with Nino, folks. Plus, order today and also receive a free VIP live health and fitness coaching for life, a free ebook titled The 14 Foods for Amazing Skin, a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, and free shipping for your order. Once again, hit the link down below, folks, and get started on looking young. Can't help you if you look ugly, though. If you're ugly, there's no help. There's no hope for you. All right, sorry. Ishmael, so... yeah, man. I mean, I think we haven't even hit the peak of this yet. To me, it seems like the peak is probably going to hit around, if I had to guess, July, right? That's what I thought. But you're saying you think this will be wrapped up by July 4th?
That's what insiders within the alliance have indicated, because they, like I said, they're under pressure right now by the positive galactics to finalize and drain the swamp, not only here in the States but worldwide. But also, check this out, Nino. These riots are taking place all over Europe as well. So it's not just happening in the States, it's worldwide. Yes, France is getting it hard. Ukraine is getting it hard. London is getting it hard. So it's happening in Europe as well. So it's not just here in the States. This is a final, you could say, battle between the globalists and, of course, the alliance.
So let me ask you this. They said they're playing their final hand. So let me ask you this. Mexico coming out saying, hey, we'll build the wall, but we want our land back. That's totally from the globalist playbook. They're throwing gasoline on the fire for all these immigrants that are here that are yelling and screaming and protesting. Basically, Mexico is saying, we got your back.
Exactly. Well, Mexico has always been controlled by the globalist. Okay, every communistic country, every socialistic country, every country that promotes fascism is all run by the globalists, by the Zionists, whatever you want to call them, Khazarians. Yeah. So it's all run by the same people.
So as this, and here's my theory on this, and this is what I've talked to, everything's going to go off at once. So as these civil unrests transpire and they get worse and worse and worse, we have Chinese aircraft carriers breaching Pacific Islands defense lines. I think they're waiting for us to be at our weakest to strike. Iran rejects plan to stop it from enriching uranium, Trump says. I mean, there's a lot of things happening around the world now where it's like just waiting for that tipping point for a world war. So what do you see on that? Do you see a world war or I know right now it's a lot of rumors and things like that, but do you see that kicking off as well?
It has been prophesied, that as things get closer, as we end this cycle, which many call, the end of Western civilization as we know it, things are going to be heading into a climax. And a lot of this, believe it or not, is being ramped up by the solar flares. The solar flares are starting to cause things to come out to the surface, cause things to reach a boiling point. So we might get to that point where it could get worse before it gets better. But that's why it's important to have at least 2 weeks of food supply, 2 weeks of water. It's always just good to be prepared both spiritually and physically, because we are living in that pivotal moment, where we're going to be witnessing what many call the end of the world as we know it. Not necessarily the end of the world, but the end of one era that has been ruled by darkness for thousands of years, and the beginning of the millennium, which is what in Christianity we call the golden age, bringing it back to Eden. So before we could even have a world like that, things do have to hit a climax. Things do have to, get really worse in order to wake up and uplift the masses. Because right now the masses are still, unfortunately, a lot of people are still under hypnosis. They're still living the program. They're still living in the, with these false concepts that the government was actually here for them, which is not true. So, yeah, it's best to be prepared. Again, things are going to start ramping up.
Is it going to be a massive shift in consciousness, human consciousness? I mean, we're going to shed the old world and go into this new world, which I'm scared is going to be the beast system, AI, all of that. I mean, obviously, we're going to go into this new golden age, Trump calls it.
Right.
But I'm worried about the beast system and all that. What do you see? What are you getting from that? Are we heading into a beast system, a tracking surveillance system, police state?
In one timeline, yes. See, right now, all these timelines or all these versions of reality are coexisting, and there's scientific evidence that we live in a multiverse where there are many alternative Earth realities. I know you guys have to study quantum physics to understand that there's different versions of realities. But very soon, and as validated by a lot of the holy books, there will come a time where all these realities are going to collapse into three. You have a positive timeline, where we won't be experiencing the emergence of the Antichrist, which is the technocratic dystopia, right? Where Palantir, where everything's surveilled and integrated through AI. And then there's the positive timeline, where it's going to be returning back to Eden, returning back to the natural way, the original sacred timeline that God established. And then, of course, there's a middle timeline. So depending on the person, when this convergence of realities take place, which many believe it's going to be signaled by a flash, by the sun, many call it the shift of the ages. That's when we're going to have some sort of a split where, the negative people are going to go into a negative timeline where they will be enslaved by AI, where everything's going to be integrated into a Palantir type of surveillance state reality. People are going to be forced into becoming cyborgs. And then there's going to be, for the good people, they're going to be able to go into a different timeline where they won't have to experience 1,000 years of hell on earth. So that 1,000 years of Antichrist rule is only taking place in the negative timeline. So the good people of the earth won't have to worry about that. There's going to be a split. There's going to be a bifurcation that's going to be taking place really, really soon.
And Air Force commander prepares California desert community for the next Pearl Harbor, a strike by China. In May, the commander of Edwards Air Force Base, California, talked openly about the need for local leaders to prepare for a Pearl Harbor-like strike on his base and others inside the United States. Chief General Doug Wickert delivered a sobering assessment of China's growing military capabilities in a briefing to community leaders, according to the Air Force Base press release. Wickert, commander of the 412th Test Wing, spoke at Antelope Valley College on May 7th. Edwards Air Force Base is in the Mojave Desert, about 100 miles northeast of Los Angeles. According to the press release, Wickert referenced the 1941 attack on Naval Station Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, in his briefing, drawing parallels to warnings about Pearl Harbor's vulnerability before the attack. Such frank talk about the possibility impact on a community around a U.S. military base in the event of a war with China over Taiwan is rare. Notably, Wickert's comments appear to be fully endorsed and approved by the Department of Defense, signaling a changing attitude. Now, I've been told that this is looking to go kinetic, that we're ultimately going into a collision course with China. What are you hearing, Ishmael?
What I've been hearing is that, like I said, things are going to get worse. And yes, it's going to get to the point where it's going to be worse, 100 times worse than Pearl Harbor, 9/11. And that's why I'm letting everybody know to just be prepared, because a lot of this has been prophesied about. You know, things have to become chaos, Mad Max, before we could reach before we reach a better society. And so anything is possible. You know, the CCP is in cahoots with the globalists, of course. So yeah, we just have to be ready. You know, we have to be ready because it looks like we are in the final stages of this war. It's been going on between the descendants of Cain, the human reptilian bloodlines, which have been ruling our world for thousands of years, and the descendants of King David, which are the alliance. So yeah, things are going to hit a crescendo. So I would say anything is possible, my friend.
So basically, this has to be done. It's the ripping of the Band-Aid. It has to be torn off. But
yeah,
you're saying
it's going to also allow many people that are sleeping to wake up. You know, this is going to create what I've been calling critical mass. And when that happens, the alliance will have no other choice but to reveal and disclose all of the classified information that has been kept from us for not only centuries, but for thousands of years. And that is the true meaning of apocalypse. Apocalypse, Revelation, the last book in the Bible, was never about the end of the world. It was about a revealing of information that was kept from humanity for not only centuries, but thousands of years. And a lot of that information is going to restore our true origin, where we come from, and where we're heading. You know, everything, the true history of the earth, Tartaria, the advanced civilizations that we have no record of. You know how many times these guys have reset history over and over? Mind wiped us to believe that we've only been here for a few thousand years. No, everything's going to be revealed. And this is what I've been saying, that's going to cause a critical mass effect within the awakening of humanity.
So what happens first? Does this play out first and then the solar flash, or does the solar flash happen and then this plays out?
Well, the solar flash is also an internal thing. You know, when people reach the level of the hertz, the frequency of Christ consciousness, which is to do unto others as you would like others to do unto you, to develop a mentality where you see everything as sacred and one. You know, once enough people reach that mentality, that is going to cause the entire planet to shift, because believe it or not, all humans on Earth, and there's scientific evidence behind this, are connected via a organic mind hive. So once we hit about 10%, it's going to cost everybody else to kind of snap out of their hypnosis and reach a higher level of consciousness.
100th monkey. 100th
like
monkey.
The 100th monkey syndrome, the 𝗻𝗃 effect. Yeah, we're all connected via mind hive. And that's how telepathy works, by the way, because we're all connected, you know. And so, yeah, things have to get worse. Things have to get to the point where the earth is being scorched, you know, in order for the earth to get to again, reach a better society. And so I believe that the solar flashes is an internal event, and that internal event is going to cause critical mass effect. And when that happens, that's when the good people of the earth are going to end up in the original sacred timeline. And those that decide to take the mark of the beast, which is already going to be happening through the biometric, you know, through the sensor implants, they're going to be going into a technocratic dystopian timeline. But those realities will be separated for at least 1,000 years. And then at the end of 1,000 years, they're going to clash for one final battle.
Wow. So that's a more complicated, more, view of the Bible. I mean, really, to be honest with you, it's a different perspective. It's a more complicated perspective, more complex, but I appreciate it either way. Ishmael, show his book one more time, Alex, so people can take a look at it. Our Cosmic Origin. Where do they get this, Ishmael?
They can get it through Amazon or through my website, ourcosmicorigin.com. And I also have another book called The Secret Government. In fact, I'm wearing my shirt, Invisible Architects. Now, this book, if you guys want to understand the history of the White Hats and the history of the cabal, going back to the flood, The Secret Government is a more of a digestible book to read, to learn about the battle between what I call the two brotherhoods. You have the Luciferian Brotherhood, which is the Babylonian networks that have been kind of controlling the world for thousands of years. And then you have the Melchizedek Brotherhood, which is those that stem from the line of King David, which are the Kennedys, you know, which are the Flynn's, the Lincolns, the Trumps, you know, Princess Diana. So this whole battle is all revealed in this book. There we go, The Secret Government.
There it is, folks. You know what to do. Get it. Ishmael, can I get you on ninoscorner.tv?
Sure. When?
I mean, I want to talk about this more. Maybe right after this. Let me. I'll call you right after. I'll text you right after this, and we'll plan.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. We'll set up a podcast for .tv. I appreciate you, Ishmael, coming on. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Folks, I want to hear your thoughts on this today. We'll be doing the ringside with Nino today on Nino's Corner.tv. Give me your thoughts of this podcast. Lots of stuff going on. We are hitting a crucial, critical pinnacle in time. I have no doubt. I feel it. I know you do too as well. I think we all feel something happening. We feel it in our bones. We feel it at a molecular level. We feel it at a spiritual level. We all know something's coming. I believe that frequencies have shifted. I feel it. I don't know about you all, but I definitely feel it. So it's interesting times, folks. Interesting times to be alive. And with that being said, let's get to some what the fuck news. That wasn't what the fuck already. Anyway, what the fuck news? In what the fuck news, will the 2026 FIFA World Cup boycott America? Looks like they're going to try. Did FIFA move 2026 World Cup matches outside U.S. due to concerns over Trump's immigration policies? In June 2025, TikTok users claimed FIFA, the international soccer governing body, decided to relocate scheduled U.S.-hosted 2026 World Cup matches to Mexico or Canada, countries that are already hosting some matches. According to social media users' posts and videos, the consideration followed FIFA receiving thousands of complaints from players, coaches, and fans who refused to travel to the U.S. due to the concerns over stringent immigration policies imposed by President Donald Trump's administration. So it's kind of like, what I don't understand how the rest of the world looks at America. Are they just like, that's our whore? We get to go there and do what we want with it. And if it's not going to be like that anymore, we're not going. I don't understand. We're not allowed to have laws and rules. We're not allowed to have boundaries. We're not allowed to have borders. Is that what it is? The rest of the world can. But it's like America is like their dirty washcloth. It's like, we go use America for what we want. You know, we get to go there whenever. What's going on here? How are people looking at this?
Yeah, and that's how they're acting. But you know what? The reality is America is a premium product, and Americans are a premium product in the world. People want to come here, and they want American money elsewhere. They want our money. They want our tourism. They want our resources. They want us. We are a premium product. And frankly, it seems like America's pretty full right now. Like we're not accepting new applicants. Like we can't meet the needs of our own people. We've got all this chaos, and it's like, hold the phone. You know, it's full for now. We got to kind of circle the wagons, figure it out, and then we'll see what's up.
Yeah, I mean, we've been used like a prostitute for so long.
That's it.
And people are mad that they can't use this anymore.
That's all it is. That's all it is. That's all they care about. They want to take, all they care about is taking what we have. They want to take what we have. They don't want to come here and contribute more. I mean, that's in the past, sure, we're a nation built on immigrants. It's not the same anymore as it was 150 years ago. People from Italy and Ireland that came here and built the country, literally. Immigrants these days, many of them just don't have any connection or shared sense of values, shared sense of
I tell you what, you know what's crazy? I've seen construction sites here empty, bro. Empty. All the workers gone. So what's your Alex, what's your view on what Ishmael said?
Yeah, no, I mean, I pay attention to this stuff and think about that stuff a lot too. That just the larger, disclosure effort that is happening with or that we need, this is really, I'm skeptical of whether we're actually going to get a disclosure from any one purported group. I don't think any of them are really going to just give it to us. I mean, I agree that there's a white hat group and there's a side that wants the release of this information, but I think we have to be the ones to stand up and demand it, essentially.
Demand it. I mean, I would love to see what's under the Vatican. I mean, I would love to see all those archives. I mean, imagine how that would just turn the world on its head.
Just completely. And people aren't ready for it too, dude. That's the thing. I mean, a lot of this stuff, there's a lot of people, frankly, that just need to, and I'm not like, that probably need to just pass on. And then, they just can't handle this stuff. Like they're not going to be ready for it. And then that world is going to be, we're going to pass the baton to our children and they're going to be ready for it because,
I agree with you. I mean, look, I don't dismiss anything Ishmael's saying. I mean, I don't, you know, I don't know. Like I said, I put my trust in Christ, and that's all. Like, it's like the simplest, like, keep it simple, stupid. That's what I'm doing. I'm just like, you know, that's the direction I'm going. But I like to hear all these others, you know, belief systems or opinions, research, whatever. I just feel like everyone deserves a voice. And dude, who really knows? Who really knows? It's all hypothetical, right? I mean, who really knows? I mean, I'll tell you what I do know. It's coming to a point right now where I can feel it. I know you can feel it. I know everyone in my audience right now can feel what's coming. We know it's coming. That's the way I see it. It's coming, and it's here. I mean, it's not coming. It's here. It's just going to escalate. I mean, it's like the frequency is going, you know, it's just, you feel it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then is it going to get to that point where it goes boom? And then what's that boom? What is that? Is that the solar flare?
Yeah.
What is that? Because it's going to get to that point. It's got to pop.
Mm-hmm.
And what is that? Is that when the flash comes? Is that when the rapture comes? I don't know. I'm just,
when they start landing ships on the, you know,
I mean, what is it?
Every major city.
Is that when the aliens come and they save us from ourselves? And, you know, I don't know, man. I'm just looking at all this, and I know the direction it's going into. And I really appreciate my audience that comes on here and every day with me, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or even on my other shows, and keeps an open mind to all this stuff. You know, you guys are just like a real niche audience, and I appreciate all of you. So does Alex, I'm sure.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys. And we totally we forgot to do the super chats on Monday. We're very sorry about that. We won't forget today, though.
No super chats Monday.
We got a bunch of them, and we just.
Oh, are these the old ones?
These are the ones from today. I'm not sure if I can pull up the Monday ones.
Check out the Despicable Street Cop Conference that was held in New Jersey recently that helped to further corrupt almost 40,000 cops. What? I didn't see that. Did you see that, Alex?
No.
Yeah, so people look into that. Wow. Check out the Despicable Street Cop. Okay. Monday, Pentecost, Passover, and counting of the Omar are extremely important with the other feast times, Moedims. Yahweh requires us to appear before him at least 3 times during the year. Samaj S. Thank you. Beverly Adams, thank you so much. Beverly Adams, Nino, remember when I read my dad's 2014 deathbed prophetic message some time ago? One thing he said was, we will be healed, and it will be controlled in a military manner. There's much more. Can I read it again on Ringside? Sure. Yeah, Ringside with Nino today. X22 read your comment. Read your X Game Over post last night. Loved it. X22 read your X Game Over post. X22 read. Am I reading this right? Oh, X22 read your X Game Over post. Got you. Okay.
I think that's it for today.
All right. Well, folks, thank you for joining me. Love all of you. I will see you. What is today, Alex? Is today Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday today. So we're back on
Friday. By Friday. Nuclear war, solar flares. I don't know. Let's see what happens. All right, Alex, later. And the new heavyweight champion of podcasting and the black sheep of broadcasting, folks.